Griffin, thanks for having me on.
I'm happy to do it. Let's go, buddy.
Absolutely stoked.
But no, been trying to get someone on for a while, so super happy that I get you on first. But this is my good friend Abe.
What's up, guys? Oh, guys, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all the things.
Yeah, please do.
Gas this up. It's a great channel.
Yeah, but no, super excited to have Abe on here. It's gonna be super chill. But
Yes, sir.
just want to talk a little bit about Abe's testimony. I've heard parts of it. I haven't heard the whole thing, but
For real?
I haven't heard the whole thing.
Okay.
But from what I've heard, it's like super sick, and I know like some main points of it. But
Yeah.
super excited for that. So if you actually want to talk about that right now,
Absolutely.
like, just talk about testimony and. Oh yeah, and by the way, I've talked about New Youth Bible Study,
Oh, yeah.
Bible study that I'm a part of on the leadership team, but Abe's the one that runs it, and so again, super happy that you're on here. But
Yeah, it's amazing. So check, New Youth OC, pull up, be with God's people and in His presence. It's
Seriously,
amazing.
it's awesome.
My testimony. All right,
Yeah.
so I was born in Ethiopia, and when I was around 2 years old, my father passed away, and a lot of the, especially where I'm from, it's a very like agrarian, agriculture based society, and so everyone has your plot of land, farm, and you live off the land essentially.
Yeah.
And so when my father passed away, I had two siblings, a brother and a sister, and my mom was just left there essentially, like not really knowing what to do, and you need to they need to over there to have a man who's tending to the land, gathering the crops, taking care of the animals, all that. And I mean, it's funny, people will be like, literally growing up, I'd hear people like talk about what hospitals and stuff they were born in, or like where they were born, when they were born. Fun fact, I definitely wasn't born in a hospital. I was born in a hut.
That's crazy.
So like a little straw bed and a hut that was, man, probably the door was like, my birth mom was really short. So people tell me, I'm not a tall dude or anything. I'm not. And but my birth mom was 4'11".
Jeez.
So homegirl
Short,
was
bro.
tiny. I'm just glad I passed that. I'm glad I passed the 4'11" height.
Barely.
Okay. So anyway, yeah, I was born out there, and my father passed away, and things quickly turned to not being like a great situation. There's a bit of a famine, and the hut that we lived in had a hole in it, and there was now not just a hole in the actual structure of the house, but also the family structure. And so because of that, we had to decide, like, okay, there's hard decisions that need to be made, and this is why I really think that we need to have so much compassion and so much empathy for people who are in difficult situations. And it's very easy to be like, all right, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, you can do it, you can make it happen. And there's so many like self-help sort of mantras and mentalities that you can have. But at the end of the day, there's like sometimes life just sucks, and like situations just happen. But there was so much sovereignty and provision by the Lord happening in the midst of all this. So my birth mom, when we talk about, like, a lot of people obviously say like, oh, I love you, or I love this, or I love or hate something, and we kind of toss that word around a lot. But I say, I'm sure you'd agree too, like, love really is sacrifice.
For sure. Yeah.
And so my birth mom, in that moment, she kind of had to make a decision, because I was the youngest of my siblings. And so she had to make a decision. She's like, okay, I either keep my son and he's gonna die because he's starving right now, he's malnourished, he can't take care of himself, he's 2 years old, like, or I'm gonna give him up for adoption, which means he will live, but I'm not gonna have him. And so she made that decision, and at that same exact time, my family here in America were up at Forest Home Family Camp. Have you ever been to Forest Home?
I've been, yeah.
Dude, Forest Home's elite,
It's
bro.
awesome, dude.
It's
so
awesome.
many memories from
Yeah.
there.
Everyone
Dude.
go to Forest
You
Home.
need to go, bro. It's
Forest Home's
life-changing.
awesome.
So sick.
But so they were up at Forest Home, and they had been, oh my gosh, doing Forest Home Family Camp for like 20. Now they've probably done it for like 29, 30 years.
Dang, dude.
So they're like vets when it comes
That's crazy, bro.
to family camp. But
Sick.
they were up there, and they had already adopted once, and it was my my sister from Ethiopia, but we're not biologically related.
Yeah.
And so they said while they were up there, they felt that God was calling them to adopt again.
Dang.
And they called Wide Horizon Adoption Agency while they were there, and it was they essentially found me like that same day or a couple days later.
Dang, dude.
And they were like, okay, like this is what we're gonna do. And so
Sick.
they came out, adopted me,
Dang.
cross the T's, dotted the I's, which is kind of the Spark Note summary version of it.
Yeah.
But even just another way to see how cool like God's provision is, my heart had a heart murmur when I was adopting, just because being so malnourished, all that, and so normally like if you want to adopt a kid, it's a lot of money and it's a lot of time, and it's a lot of like you're getting CPS people going to your house and like interviewing you, making sure you're not crazy, making sure that you're stable enough, not just financially but also like mentally, and like you're able to take on a child, but because of the heart murmur, I got bumped up on like the waiting list about 6 months.
Oh jeez.
And my parents had already adopted, so it's a quicker process for sure.
Yeah.
But then 6 months after I got adopted, they shut down adoptions from Ethiopia to America.
That's insane.
So it's like,
God's
okay,
hand, dude.
then that's why it's like, bro, you ever be going through something rough and you're like, dang, this sucks, and then you realize, oh, if it wasn't for that, this situation would actually be so much worse.
So much worse. Yeah.
So it's like, bro, that's why we gotta sometimes be grateful for the stuff that like wrecks us, because without it, who knows where we'd be. So that's like the first 3 years of my life.
Dude, that's nuts. That's wild.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah. And then it gets it's interesting. Do you want me to keep going like past there? Like,
yeah, like
we
go
go all the way till today.
Because like I'm assuming
Yeah.
I don't know if you're like, is like your mom and stuff like that. I don't know. Are they like believers or like?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Great question. So, grew up in both my parents are like birth parents are Christian.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, that's honestly a big part of the culture in Ethiopia, and a lot of African countries have really strong Christian roots, because like, man, that was a big part of the world, and Ethiopia is one of the only countries that haven't really ever been like colonized.
Oh, wow.
And they pride themselves in that. So a lot of like those Christian roots, when in Acts, when I think it's Peter like finds the Ethiopian on the road, and he's like, hey, I don't understand this, and Peter's like, oh, let me explain it to you, because the passage that you're reading is about Jesus, and they go and get baptized. It's like there's so many roots that are from like kind of those places, Egypt, Ethiopia, and a lot of the places in the Middle East, obviously, but so they were believers, and
that's good.
And after I got adopted, I'd always say like I don't really have many complaints in life.
That's awesome.
Especially when we realize, I guess, how crazy it could have been.
Totally, bro.
Like, I don't mean to. I don't say this, man. For everyone watching, I don't say this to come off in like a uncompassionate or an uncaring way, but I do definitely hear like a lot of people either complain or like stress out about things that I'm just like, man, it's gonna be okay.
Totally,
like this is the biggest worry that.
Yeah.
And I don't say that to minimize anything.
No, totally.
I only say it to like because I regardless on like if there's a small worry or a big worry, the Lord still cares.
For sure.
But sometimes I'm just like, there's a quote I love. It's like, if life isn't horrific, you're probably terrific. Like when we see the blessings that we have, a lot of the things that we're really stressed out about or tweaking out about, they figure themselves out sooner or later.
Yeah.
My life was pretty straightforward. Went to like Christian schools growing up. Always had like friends around me. My parents were always very big on like have good friends.
That's good.
They were like, your friends are a huge reflection on who you are. And then I'll kind of like fast forward to about the summer going into my freshman year. Summer going into my freshman year, I was like, I do a lot of worship stuff, music, love like serving the church and all that.
Yeah.
But it wasn't really, I guess, until the summer of my freshman year, I got to go on a trip to Israel. Yeah.
Sick.
Israel, like that trip was absolutely life changing. It was just me and my sister and my church. We went with our high school group, and to see like the scripture come alive, to see the places that Jesus walked.
Dude.
I got to be baptized in the Jordan River.
Dude.
It was, bro,
That's
you
so
got to do it.
That's fire,
Do it.
bro. That's so sick.
It was amazing.
That's crazy.
And that was just like, that was a crazy experience to have that trip.
Yeah.
And I think that coming back from it, there was a lot of relationships that were built and like friendships that like, I'm still super close to a lot of those people today.
Yeah.
But past that, it was like, okay, there's somewhat of like a line in the sand moment where it's like, when we talk about like, oh man, if only I could just see it, or like, if only I could just be there. I'm sure you've been through that. Like, if only I could just see the tomb for myself, and it's like, that's my wallpaper, is like an empty tomb. Dude. Because every time I saw it with my eyes, bro. And that's like the crazy thing is when people talk about like, the people who wrote the Gospels and like the disciples and the apostles.
Yeah.
And all these, according to church history, like all these guys getting beheaded, crucified, cut in half, boiled alive, exiled on islands. Like literally the fact that every single apostle of Jesus died as a martyr, other than John, who was, boiled alive, survived, and then goes to the Isle of Patmos to write. Yeah. Like that was the best case scenario.
It's insane.
And the all they had to do was just be like, nah, Jesus, he was capping.
Yeah,
he didn't rise from the dead. That was all they had to do. And the idea is just like, no, you can't tell me what I didn't see with my own two eyes.
Yeah.
Like I saw it, and so like to see that for myself, it was kind of the line in the sand moment where I was like, okay, you either got to be in or out.
Yeah.
There's no like really halvesies kind of Christianity, or like what is it? Hokey pokey Christianity. I love that. That's a funny it was like 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Yeah.
And so that was really like the moment for me. And then I went to Uganda my sophomore year of high school for a missions trip.
Yeah.
That was the first time I'd been to Africa in 15 years. So I didn't go to Ethiopia or anything like that. But first time back in Africa, that trip broke my soul. Like, it was pretty crazy. Just like because we went to a lot of like different babies' homes, orphanages, and it was like, man, these are stories that could have been me, and yet, this is where I'm at right now.
That's crazy.
And so it was almost somewhat of like looking at yourself in the mirror, and being like, I don't know, man, but just like, dang, I can't answer the questions that are super difficult to answer. I can't answer why is there suffering? Why did I get out? And this person didn't. I think it's like 600,000 Ethiopians apply for visas to America every single year, and it's like, to be one of that is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I kind of just stopped believing in luck. I kind of stopped believing in chance.
Totally.
I don't know about you, but
no.
And then after that, I got to go to Kenya the next year, Rwanda and Ethiopia. I did go back to Ethiopia this last, but it was very quick. I went to the capital I didn't go to like where I was like born or raised or anything.
Yeah.
I went to the capital for like 2 days just because we were already in Rwanda and it was so close. But that's pretty much like how we kind of get to today. The New Youth Bible Study opened from the Uganda trip. So sophomore year was like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But dude, that's kind of that's the
awesome.
Spark Note summary.
Bro, no, that's fire, dude. Thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely.
Dude. That's so sick. And I think that's one thing, like, seeing from you, I was really telling Abe about this, like, right before this, how, like, I feel like recently God's been putting on my heart to be, like, a missionary when I'm older. And, dude, I'm not lying. Like, it's, like, things like this where it's, like, I can impact, like, those people by, like, doing that. And it's something that, one of the biggest lessons I learned, and this is something God, like, broke my heart over, was, like, look how blessed, like, I am. Like, I've been raised in a Christian family. I live in Orange County, California. Like, that's, like, so rare. And I think one thing that I just realized is, like, what am I doing with this?
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
like I'm held for like so much more accountable than these kids that are in Uganda, Ethiopia, Kenya, wherever it is, and it's like I'm held more accountable because I have this faith now and I have all this. Like, what am I doing with this?
Absolutely.
And I think that's like so cool to share. Like, I think that's why you're here. Like, God saw
Absolutely.
like the potential that you have, like the lives that you've changed, and like that's why like you're here and doing it. Like that's bro.
Well, tell me, Griff, what do you want to kind of do when you say like God's giving me all this, and like, you know, like there's a level of, what's the word, not, I don't want to say like put like too much pressure on or whatever, but like,
sure.
yeah, like exactly, like, man, you've been given all this,
Yeah.
you know, and I believe that we are blessed to be a blessing.
Yeah.
And so like, man, how do you want to kind of like bless people?
Yeah, dude. I think like it's just simple things. Like it's like sometimes we overcomplicate it.
For
you know?
sure.
Being
For sure.
like, dude, I need to be going on mission trips. I need to be doing like, I don't know, serving at church full time, like
Yeah.
whatever it is. And I think one thing that like really like changed the way I viewed it all was like God's like, dude, just live your life glorifying me, and like people around you are gonna see that.
Yeah.
And people seeing that are gonna be changed by that.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be different than like living of the world. And
Yeah.
it's like I think that was the big thing for me. It's like I'm going into high school, I'm like, all right, like I want to start doing certain things, like I want to party, I want to whatever it is.
Yeah.
And it's like learning like, no, like God's calling me to something else. And it's realizing like the reason why he's calling me to this is two things. One, it's going to change the lives around me.
For sure.
And it's also going to lead to me having a more blessed life.
Absolutely.
And I think that's something that so many, especially like high schoolers like our age, like don't realize is like, sometimes we think like, oh, I'm going to be missing out on fun. I'm going to miss out on friendships, whatever. It's like, dude, I'm telling you, like me and Abe, we're happy with like every high schooler out there, bro. Like, like last night, we were just hanging out with our friends for his birthday party. It's like, literally, we're just talking, worshiping around the fire till like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's true joy to me. Like, that's like true fulfillment. And like, dude, I don't know, but.
No, absolutely. I mean, and that's the crazy thing too, is because like, I mean, I'll be honest. I've been there where I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm missing out on X, Y, and Z because, you know, or even like, oh, I'm gonna miss out on future opportunities because, if you know, I have friends that want to do something and I'm like, no, that's not really my speed or whatever, or even like career stuff or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, this is kind of what got me was like, you have FOMO either way.
Seriously.
Like regardless.
Yeah.
So like you could either be like, oh man, I got FOMO because I'm not babysitting drunk people, or like I'm not, you know, doing these things that the world calls great. And again, that's why Jesus is like, what good is it to gain the world but lose your soul?
Dude,
But at the same time, if I do all of that, then I'm missing out, and I have FOMO on experiencing fulfillment, experiencing joy, experiencing a life that isn't full of anxiousness and worry all the time, experiencing true friendships. Bro, how many like friendships you know that are like, what on earth is this friendship?
It's crazy,
like this is, it's like you see them one day, bro. Or no, you know what it is? You know what it is? I'm sorry, y'all. Griffin got me on the rant. I'm sorry. First guest on the podcast. I'm getting sassy with it already.
I love it.
But like people in the comment sections, bro. Someone will post something, and it's like, oh my gosh, girl, so cute. Oh, and then I talk to them in person, and they're like, I'm about to stab her in the face. And I'm like, what happened? What happened? And so it's like either way, you have FOMO because it's either you're missing out on all of that, or you're missing out on experiencing what the Lord intended for us to experience in the beginning in the garden, which was just communion with Him, communion and communication with Him. And so it's like, I'm okay with like FOMO,
bro,
as long as I'm like, you know, it's the FOMO for the right thing. Like like that's the beautiful thing about it.
And dude, and I think the biggest impact. So this is kind of a little part of like my testimony towards like getting into high school. So I've been a Christian my whole life, but I think it really changed like going into sophomore year when Bible study started. That's when like my whole faith changed.
Yeah.
And one thing that is so crazy. So it's like, shout out to my parents for this. But I was going to go to Orange Lutheran High School. And instead I ended up at Korean Lutheran. But I wanted to go Orange Lutheran, play baseball there. They're like really good at baseball, all this stuff. And I was like so set on it. And my parents had been praying like, God, I had friends in middle school that were like super cool, super like that. And so they were like, we want him to have that going into high school. And they were praying like, we're gonna go to Orange Lutheran, but like praying like, is there anything else that you want us to do? And dude, it was like literally like right before school started, like, Griff, you're going to Crean. And
No
I remember
way.
being like, bro, like I'm
Yeah.
not going to Crean. Like I didn't even know what it was.
Yeah,
I was
no,
like,
for sure.
It was like so like I was so sad.
Yeah.
And I remember like going there and like literally my parents would be praying like nonstop, like bring godly people into
Yeah.
Griffin's lives. And I didn't know this. And they had been praying for that so much. And that's when like I met a bunch of these guys on football and baseball. I met these like super godly Christian guys.
Mhm.
And from what I've heard, not a lot of like, I know there's awesome people at Olu.
Yeah.
Like I have friends at Olu that are awesome and stuff, but I know Olu's become more public than
Yeah.
like Crean's like this like super faith-based school. And I think that's something
I
that
forgot you didn't really know a lot of
Dude,
people
I knew no
before.
one.
That's right.
is crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew like 2 people going to Crean and that was it.
Shoot.
And so that's why I like did not want to go.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know what Crean was. But
people think it's like cream.
dude,
Like, you
or
go to
Korean.
yeah, it's like Korean Lutheran or cream
Dude.
Lutheran.
It's yeah. No one knows what it is.
Yeah.
But it's fire, dude. And I think that's like what really changed my life was like the people around me. It's like I had these people where it's like even just our Bible study leadership team, it's like these people like they will reach out whenever they want.
Mhm.
Like, dude, Griff, like, can you pray for me for this?
Yeah.
Or like, Griff, what do you need prayer for?
Mhm.
Or it's like, yo, like I remember Sean, our friend Sean, like just I'd barely known this guy for like maybe a couple weeks. And he's like, yo, Griff, come to the beach with me. I'm
Yeah.
like, all right. And we hung out like literally 4 hours of just reading our Bible,
That's peak.
going to Chipotle, and we literally got to like minister to these like old couple. That was like
Dude,
just
no
like
way.
they were like, you guys talking about God? And like, yeah, like what do you guys believe? And like we like got in the whole thing, and it's like that stuff is like, again, I think the biggest thing of my faith, the
Mhm.
reason why I have this faith is because of like the fulfillment it brings.
Yeah.
It's like you don't find that from the world,
Mhm.
you know? Like even like I'm a baseball player. It's like I
Yeah.
don't find fulfillment. Like I love baseball, but I don't find fulfillment
Yeah.
from it, you know? And like I love like yeah, whatever it is. It's like any worldly things, like I love a lot of those things, but they don't bring you fulfillment.
Yeah,
So like why
for
are you
sure.
doing those things?
For
And so
sure.
that's like
And you see, like, bro, I'm sure you see Cream baseball. We're good, yeah.
dude, Resh,
But
we're getting better.
but we're a big program
Yeah.
for baseball. So
Mhm.
I'm sure you probably see a lot of people who do put it like their identity
Yeah.
in that.
Totally,
And it's an ugly sight.
bro.
It's an ugly sight whenever
Yeah.
you see that happen.
That almost ruined my faith. Dude.
Really?
Going to high school, I was so focused on, I joined a travel ball team, and it was like, I swear it was like I was one person in front of my friends, and then in baseball, I was this whole different
Shoot.
person, dude. I was like, that's when I was like, before Bible study,
Mhm.
like my freshman year was when I was kind of struggling in
Yeah.
faith because I was like, what do I really want? Do I want this baseball life?
Yeah.
Do I want this like more worldly life, or do I
Mhm.
want this like fulfilled like life that I didn't really know about?
Yeah.
yet? And I think that was like a big turning point was at Crean, like meeting these people.
Yeah. Okay, so you said like your freshman year was the like I guess what was like so appealing? Was it parents stuff like your parents being like, oh, this is better for you or whatever? Because especially when you're an athlete and like that's kind of the world and the culture that like is there and that surrounds that sport. What was appealing to the other end of the spectrum, which is okay, I'm not really going to conform to that, but I'm kind of
Yeah.
going to live differently.
Yeah. I think like I always knew like even in travel ball, like
Yeah.
I knew I was a Christian, and so I was like I'm called to be like different, you
Mhm.
know? But I think I was so like conformed to them that I was like these guys are doing this, like they're going to this, they're like whatever, like doing this stuff. And so that to me was like I'm in baseball. Like I'm like my baseball identity and I'm my like Christian identity. And so I was like, all right, my baseball identity, I'm gonna do this. And I think what really changed it was the fact that like I remember I had like this 1 week in my life that was like really like I don't remember what it was, but it was like this like whole faith-based week, and it like really changed the way I like my whole person. And so I remember going to travel ball, and like my teammates, I talked about this in a different episode, they used to call me Teeth because I'd be smiling so much.
No
and it was
way.
after that week they were like, Griff, like, what are you smiling about? Like, there's nothing to be smiling about. And I was like it was just something that like it like almost like God just like changed me by that. And I don't know like what it was. I don't know how it happened, but it just happened. And I remember them being like, what's different? And I remember that's when I really was like, dude, this life's more about than baseball.
Yeah,
it's like
for sure.
we have eternal destinations that are like gonna be changed, and it's like you're gonna either end up one way or the other.
Yeah.
And it's like I wanted to make sure like one, I'm gonna be there.
Yeah.
And like that once I figured out like and I think this is so important in our faith,
Mhm.
you gotta realize where you're going. You
Oh,
gotta
1000%.
dude, you gotta like if you're like I mean, I'm Christian, you know, I'm living
Yeah.
of the world though, like I'm Christian though. I'll help these people. You're not gonna be able to help those people,
Bro,
you know?
it's the airline.
Bro,
Put your own mask on before
yeah.
you assist someone else.
Dude, you have to. You
Yeah.
have to know your destination. You got to know like what your faith is. You got to figure that out before you impact the people around
Absolutely.
you. And like you can try all you want, but it's really not gonna happen until you know like who you are and like whose you are.
1000%.
Like that's what's gonna change lives.
Absolutely. No, dude, that's so sick. Cause dude, I mean, that seems like it happened like relatively quickly.
Yeah,
You know. But I love that you said that too. Of like, okay, you gotta make sure you're getting locked. Cause
Dude.
I even think about someone like Paul,
Yeah.
who like Paul's freaking the GOAT. Like he writes the majority of the New Testament. Honestly, I don't think that if Paul's like testimony would have been as crazy as it was,
Yeah.
he would have really gotten as much traction
Totally.
because people were like, oh, he just left his status, his money,
Yeah.
his life of ease and kind of authority to like just be getting beaten around and bullied and like, you know, kicked out from town to town. And yet for the first 3 years after Paul like converts, he doesn't really tell any Christians how to live. Like he tells people like about Jesus, but he's not saying like, oh, you're a Christian, like, hey, church in Ephesus, you got to be doing this, this, and this.
Yeah.
Because he was just like, he was working on himself.
Yeah.
Which is like
That's crazy.
such a good example to set.
Totally.
Especially because it's like, I don't know. I think you can get like so hyped up about it
Dude.
and just be like, let's go.
Yeah.
And that work in the secret place sometimes just got to get
Dude.
done.
100%.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing is like your relationship with Jesus, like that's what's gonna like affect the people around you because more time you spend with them, the more like just naturally you're gonna be able to impact the people around you.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
yeah, dude, that's sick, bro.
The okay, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Bible study.
Yeah.
So it's been about 2 years now.
Dude.
How have you kind of seen yourself grow and change even in a leadership role?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say first thing, like I'll talk about first, like I'll get into the leadership part right after,
Yeah.
but I think the first thing, and you kind of pointed this out, the friendships I've made and the relationships I made because of Bible study are just like different than anything else I've experienced. And it's something that I think what's so different about it that I didn't realize is like we're so like my friend group at school and like my baseball friend group, it's like, dude, we have like we're good friends, all this stuff, but it's like that's our friends. If you want to try to join, like be friends with us, like we'll be friends with you. But it's like whatever, like Bible study, it's like literally we meet people like 3 days ago.
Yeah.
And they're up till 2 a.m. with us last night.
Yeah.
Like hanging out, worshiping.
Yeah.
Like I think that's what's so different. It's like unique, it's like attractive.
Mm.
Where it's like it's just so easygoing, so chill, but it's like we're there to like help each other.
Yeah.
It's not like we're our own self. It's like a family. It's like, dude,
Absolutely.
we're like I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna pray for you. You're gonna pray for me. Like that's
bro.
like,
That's the church.
So
like,
crazy.
We think like the early church, people would be like, oh, let's go meet under a tree and we'll read the Bible and pray for each other and like,
so sick.
You know, that's beast.
Dude.
That's beast.
And that's I think the biggest thing that Bible study, and this is like even people that I know that I've brought to Bible study, they're like, literally I have friends where they're like, dude, I've been praying for a community. I've never met something like this and I want it. Like my friend Huddy, he came for the first time and he's like this strong Christian guy, but he's like, he goes public school. He's like, I don't know anyone that's Christian. And I remember he showed up the first week and he came to me like crying afterwards. Like, dude.
Huddy's
like,
a big dude too.
He's big.
He's a big dude.
Like big football guy going D1 for football.
Yeah.
Dude, he came out to me like crying. He's like, dude, like I need this. Like I want this. And he was like, this is what I've been longing for. And it's like you don't realize it, but that's like you want true friends that are going to be there to help you through everything. And so that's first, I think the biggest thing I've gotten from this Bible study, and the biggest thing is like just the friendships I've made, the relationships. And from a leadership standpoint, one thing I've learned, and I've always heard like be a servant leader or whatever, and that's like something at Crean. It's like the servant leadership.
Yeah,
team.
but it's like it's kind of different when Crean said, you know, and it's like like a teacher's like be a servant leader, and I'm like, are you just wanted me to help you out with your job? I don't know. I don't know.
But like when you like really think about that, I learned like think about for yourself.
Yeah.
It's like, am I gonna want to follow someone that's telling me what to do, or am I gonna want to follow someone that's basically saying like, I want to help you.
Yeah.
You know.
1000%.
And as a servant leader, especially for Bible study, it's like I'm a leader, but what that means for me is like I'm the one cleaning up.
Yeah.
I'm the one and welcoming people in. I'm the one meeting the new people.
Yeah.
And because of that, and again, that brings fulfillment.
Yeah.
But I think learning about that was like, I want to be someone that people want to follow because like I'm just there to help them.
Yeah.
And I want to be there to like serve their needs.
Totally.
And that's what like Jesus came to do. You know,
Yeah.
he came to serve, not to be served.
Absolutely.
And I think that's just something that like is not about you.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes we get leadership like it's about me, like it's what I need to do. It's like, no, how can you be helping the people around you, and how can you be leading them in the right direction? And it's leading with this posture of love but honesty.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, dude, you can't love someone to hell, you know.
1000%.
And that's something that I just learned recently. You can't be so loving that you're gonna love someone to hell.
Yeah.
You gotta love someone, but you gotta at some point be like, dude, I love you so much, I need to tell you like, the truth. And like
1000%.
that's what I've learned from Bible study, like the relationships I made. There's people at Bible study that aren't Christians. And it's like I've had conversations with them where it's like even my friend Joe from Bible study, he was Jewish before, and he came up to me and was like, we talked about like the first week he ever came, he was like, I just want to learn more about this.
Yeah.
And it's like, as a loving person, I could have just been like, dude, you're like, that's super cool what you believe, like I respect that, like, and I did say that, but if I would have just been like, yeah, go for that, it's like, no. It's like I'm loving them, I'm accepting them, but like, no, like I need to be like, dude, like that's awesome, I respect that, but like this is the truth. Like, this is the only way.
Totally.
You know?
And oh man, wait, I'm totally blanking. Okay, there's a couple things because you just said a lot of really good stuff. The truth is, I'll kind of go in order. The first thing about like being a servant, my brother lives out in Tennessee, and so we'll go out occasionally, and there's a pastor at I think his name's Pastor Anthony at Connect Church. Okay. What's up, Pastor Anthony? I don't know why you're watching this, but he told this story about like one of his like pastor friends or something. This was a while ago. I heard this, but you reminded me of it. And his friend was like, "Oh, I want to be in full-time ministry. I want to do great things for the Lord. I'm going to seminary 4 years." Goes to seminary, you know, gets locked in on his Greek, gets locked in on his Hebrew. And first week he gets there, he's like talking to like the pastor that he's gonna be replacing. And it's a pretty big church, you know, like stadium seating and all that. And he's like, all right, I need you to put pens and, you know, notepads or something in every single seat. And, you know, there's over 2,000 seats or something like that. And he's doing it. And then the original pastor goes up, does a sermon, and then he goes, okay, I need you to go take all of these out. And he goes, hey, I didn't go to seminary for 4 years just to like move pencils around, you know? And he's like, well, here's the thing is if you can't do little things for God, then why on earth would he ever have you be doing big things for him?
That's good.
You know, and it's like, oh,
dude.
I'm glad I wasn't there. I'm glad I didn't say, you know?
Dude, that's good.
But like, dude, when you know, you say things like, oh, I'm the one who's cleaning up, I'm the one who's setting up, I'm the one who's meeting the new people, that's 1,000% true. You know, Jesus says like, hey, if you can't be trusted with a little bit, why on earth when the big things come around, you get, why would I be like, oh, here, give it to the guy that can barely put it, you know, he gets fed up with putting a pencil in that thing. And so that's so cool to see because a lot of that shows work ethic, integrity, and character. For sure. The second part of like, we live in this like weird kind of culture of like, you can't really like speak what you can't speak your mind these days, at least to the full extent that someone will want to. And I think Gen Z's low key peak because we're kind of clutching up right now. But this world that we live in is very like, hey, you can have your truth and this can be like something, but it's like no. If there is truth, then there is truth. And you can't look at me and tell me that an apple is an orange and an orange is an apple. And so to have the amount of love for someone to say, hey, especially like I think JJ says this. Shout out JJ. It's like when tips for like when you're like spreading the gospel is the connection before the correction, and to like have that connection with someone who's like, oh man, I want to learn more, and I'm so glad that I'm here, and it's like, oh my gosh, that's great, so glad that you're here, you know, and you know you're talking about backgrounds and things like that, and just to be able to say like that's so great, you know, and I love you got the first half, but man, the second half is the part that matters. Totally, I mean, bro. that is, and it's again it's a way that like we've gotten almost used to sharing the gospel, but the good news isn't even good because we don't realize the bad situation we were in beforehand. You know, and it's like, what good is it to tell someone that they can be saved if they're like, but you know, they gotta be like, you gotta be told how bad
Totally,
you
man.
are.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh man, like there was no hope at all.
Totally,
Like we were dead in our darkness. Everything we have done is like a slap in God's face, essentially. And because we're kind of like, well, Jesus loves you so much, and He does, but that does not cause an opportunity to abuse
Yeah.
grace or misuse
100%,
grace.
dude.
And so, yeah, dude, that's so good. And I really hope that us as a society and us as a generation and us as a culture can get back into a state of like just telling the truth.
Totally.
Because, I mean, it's so unbeneficial to just blow sunshine up people's butts and say like everything's great, you know, because everything was great.
Yeah.
But that was for like 2 chapters of the Bible.
Yeah.
You know, like it was great, and then it was really, really, really bad.
Yeah.
And then, you know, Matthew hits, and we get the genealogy of Jesus Christ, and it's like this is the hope that we've been waiting for, and it's like we just need to know that. And so yeah, bro, that's so good. That's so good.
That's sick, dude.
Yeah, man, and even just like the relationships and stuff that you're bringing up with new youth and the ways that God, like, because I've gotten so many of those stories too.
Yeah.
And even this was the other thing that you made me think about, with how do you know, going D1 football, all that.
Yeah.
That's not an uncommon occurrence.
Yeah.
You know, like there's been people that I've like gone to talk to and pray with.
It's crazy.
You know, I'm not gonna like name names or anything, but like a kid comes up to me who's committed as a junior, I think, to go play basketball at a D1 school.
Yeah.
And he's just breaking down because he's like, I have no idea what I'm doing or who I am. And I'm like, that right there is having the world and having nothing.
Totally.
You know?
Dude.
Like, that's, oh gosh, bro, that's giving me chills.
Dude.
Like, that was one of the craziest conversations. I was like, what don't you have?
Yeah.
Like a full ride to a D1 school. And, you know, then I realized, you know, you normally go past the surface, which is why social media is so cooked.
Yeah.
I got it just to find a roommate, but I'm still against it in principle. But it's like Instagram, you know, I think it's Phil Van Mitchell said it's just Insta sham. You know, nothing's real.
Yeah.
Everything's so surface level, and you talk to somebody for 5 minutes and you see how much brokenness is really beneath the surface. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I know. It's the amount of people at Bible study that I've, like, just like you said, there's so many like these D1 athletes. I mean, we have USC football players that are literally at our Bible study, and they committed their lives to Christ because they said, I've been like I know one person that I talked to the very first night he came, committed USC for football, and he goes, I like my whole life I've been known as this football player. I've been known as this like super good. He was ranked the #1 player in the nation. He's like, lady people at Bible started coming up to take pictures with him. I remember I brought my friend for the first time. He goes, yo, give me a picture with that dude. I'm like, what? Like,
bro, he pulled up. He pulled up, and I was like, oh, that's so cool. Like his friends, they're like, because their friends also play football.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, they brought their coach to come in and come to Bible study, and he's like, no, he's a sophomore.
Dude, I was like, oh my
Bro.
gosh. It's like, dude, literally people are taking pictures with him,
Yeah.
and it's like, I remember he talked to me and Eden afterwards, and he was like, I've been known as a football player my whole life, and he's like, I want to be known as something more important than that. And I was like, dude, like a D1 like going USC, that's like a top 10 team in the nation, and you're going there and you're saying like, I want to be something more important than this. Like that shows that like the only thing that brings fulfillment is like a faith and a relationship with Jesus.
Absolutely.
And so I think that stuff was like, I remember that happening, that like rocked my world. I was like, dude, like this is real.
Yeah.
Like this is changing lives.
Absolutely.
You know? So
yeah, bro. I mean, that's why people literally can have so much, even like I know there's like physical athleticism and stuff like that, and like even intellect is super cool. Like people who are just so crazy smart.
Yeah.
But like I think about something like money. That's so like, bro. There's people that have more money than they'll be able to spend in a lifetime.
Yeah.
And they end up putting a bullet in their head.
Yeah.
Because they're just like, what am I supposed to do? Like I have it all, and yet nothing. And it's like, dang. There's just something that like hurts me for those people, because I'm like, it's so close to like, you know, you have like almost everything, and when I went to Uganda, something there, like a saying that they have there is like, you don't realize God's all you need until you realize God is all you have.
Yeah.
And it's like sometimes you just got to like have everything taken away before realizing
100%.
that was all you needed in the first place.
That's good, dude. That's fire, bro.
Yeah.
But all right, well, we've been talking for a while. I
Yeah,
feel
bro,
like
that
we
was
could
cool.
talk
That
a lot.
was
If we keep going, but I think we should wrap it up.
Absolutely.
But seriously, thank you so much for being on this.
Of course.
Thank you guys for tuning in, guys. I hope God spoke to you guys. I know this, like, even talking right now, I can feel God putting stuff on my heart. But super cool learning about your testimony.
Absolutely.
That's awesome, dude. And again, yeah, thank you so much for being on this.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, dude.
Jesus loves you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, and pull up that Bible study.
Yeah, pull up
Love to see
the
you guys
Bible
there.
study Sunday.
It's always a good time. Always
Yeah.
a good time. And keep watching this guy. He's got loads of wisdom
Appreciate
to
it.
share. And thanks for having me on.
Yeah, for sure, dude.
Till the next time.
Yeah. All right.
Absolutely.
Peace, guys.